Back in 67, 68 when I went to Vietnam. Like, I was my grandson age. He's like 19 years old. He brought that to my attention.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him going like, 19? You know, what we got, instead of a wonderful childhood, we got Vietnam.
Absolutely.
You know, we should have been going on dates, things like that, man, and just sitting here looking at the article, some of the articles there, and reflecting back on Edison, which is the high school that we went to, and we lost 64 of our classmates in Vietnam.
And according to the news media, Edison, you know, our school lost more alumni, students in that war than any other school in the nation, any high school in the nation. I mean, can you imagine? 64. That's a lot of people from one place.
You know, like a lot of people say, I know somebody that died in Vietnam. Steve, we know some bodies that died in Vietnam. We walked the hallways with some of them guys and played with some of those guys, man, and laughed. And they're gone at a young age like that. Like that article in here I was sharing with you about, I think it was, where's that? Back here, where the North Vietnamese Prime Minister made a statement to the paper, and he said, how long do you Americans want to fight? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? We will accommodate you. And accommodate us they did.
Absolutely. I believe, I'm not sure if that war lasted 11 years, 12 or 13 years, but it lasted a long time. And the thing that kind of got me, sometimes people wouldn't even refer to it as a war, but as a conflict. But the bottom line is that was war. And there was no question about it. I mean, all the elements that go into war was there, you know.
And not only that, man, it was a teenage war.
Absolutely.
It really was a teenage war.
Absolutely.
Because the Vietnam vet, I think, is about the most messed up vet from every war we fought. Well, they were kids, man.
The average age was 19. Was 19 years old. I mean, what are 19-year-olds doing today?
Dating,
you know,
and
being 19-year-olds.
Yeah, right.
You know, we never, like you said, we never had that opportunity to become or be teenagers. And like you said, you know, I look at my son. He's 24 years old, but I recall when he was 18, 19 years old, I was sitting in the living room one day and I was just looking at him and reflecting on my Vietnam experience, my military experience, and I'm looking at him and I'm saying to myself, good God, no, he's a kid. He's just a kid, you know. And I couldn't see him done with, you know, with machine gun, armed with grenades, and you know, his steel pot, his helmet, his flak jacket, you know, and all the things that, you know, require a person to have, you know, in order to kill somebody else. And I just couldn't see it.
And I like the piece about that chaplain with the prodigal son.
Yeah.
Where he was coming from, what, like Luke 15?
Yeah, Luke 15.
Yeah. Just read a little bit of that, man. I kind of like that.
Let's see. And this is 1967 when this was quoted. I went out to Hill 881 near Khe Sanh, which was in the north, the I Corps, on a Sunday in 1967 and held a little worship service. I talked about the prodigal son from Luke 15, about how a son goes off into a far-off country and comes to realize that this is not where he's supposed to be. Wow. The Marines were all lined up and they were really raggedy. Clothes were riding off. These were like 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and so different in many ways. Yet they were all Marines and they took care of each other.
You know, like that story of the prodigal son, man, in the Bible it says he came to himself and he went home.
Right.
So the United States didn't come to themselves.
Right.
We should have came to ourselves and we should have went home just like that. You know, let's run up to the school, man.
Okay, that's fine.